Good morning and welcome back to We Are Austin. Medicare open enrollment is almost over, and if you've put it off because you're not quite sure how to navigate, number one, no judgment, we understand, but don't worry. There is still time to get expert advice on the right plan for you or your loved one. Mackenzie Anderson is here from Premier Medicare Solutions to tell us how she can help. We're excited about that. Good morning, great to see you again.
Morning, and thank you for having me.
Can you believe we're already here, that final week?
I know.
You know, when this is my responsibility, I will never forget because my birthday is December 7th. So that day will always be stuck in my head that that's going to be the final day, right?
So it's 5 days away.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. As we enter this final annual enrollment week, can people still get some help with plans that they've already chosen?
Of course, of course. Yep, technically you have until 11:59 on December 7th. However, I do not recommend waiting that long.
Good point.
You don't want the reason why you weren't able to make a selection or change your option B because you waited too long or the system is bogged down. So, but I am definitely still here. If you've made a choice, spoken with somebody else, and just want a second opinion, I'm here for you.
That's great advice. That is always a great idea to get second advice. And speaking of, when you're looking through plans that people have chosen or plans that they're making, what are some of the common mistakes that you notice that people might be making when you're reviewing those?
Well, there's actually three top mistakes that I see people make. The first is calling into those commercials or any of the 1-800 numbers. Second is listening to your family and friends, and then third is doing it on your own. So when you call into those commercials, you're not getting somebody that's in your city, state, or potentially even country. It's a call center, and they handle the entire country. Wow. And so the likelihood of that person knowing Austin and your area is slim to none. And so you really need to speak with somebody local who is like myself, who knows the area, knows all the little ins and outs. And you know, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation with a friend or doing it on your own. But when you are doing it on your own, you're looking and you're researching different areas from different people, and they're going to be biased. They say, this is what I did, so this is what you should do. No, Medicare is so highly individualized. What's best for them may not be what's best for you. So definitely talk to somebody like myself who is local and will give you unbiased advice.
Good to know. You make it easy to avoid all of those mistakes, for sure.
Yes.
Well, here's a great question. If someone is still working at age 65, should they choose a Medicare plan or an employer plan? How do they approach that?
Oh, you know, I wish there was a blanket statement that I could give for this question. You know, there's different factors in everybody's life. So my first advice would be to talk to HR to see if they recommend that you sign up for any part of Medicare, A or B or both. You know, aside from that, I really just give me a call. Just give me a call. I'd be happy to look at what your employer offers, and then I can see if I can do better. And if I can't, then I'm not gonna force you to do it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just because you can make a change doesn't mean you should.
That's great advice, and knowing that you can help them compare, contrast, I think is really great. That and alone is something really great to have.
Right, and at no cost.
Yeah, even better. Speaking of advice, there are folks who maybe have to do open enrollment now to go ahead and get in, but in this next year, perhaps after enrollment ends, they'll be turning 65. What advice do you have for them?
Well, I would say start early. Have an open mind and come with plenty of questions. So when you turn 65, you have a 7-month open enrollment period. It's called your initial enrollment period.
Oh, I see. So
it's the month you turn 65, 3 months before, and 3 months after. So start early. I usually recommend a year or two, and then work with somebody locally who knows the area and will take the time to educate you. So I absolutely love the education portion of this process. You know, my goal is to make sure that you know just enough to know when you're being taken advantage of and when something is too good to be true, because there's so much misinformation out there. So as long as you can walk away from a conversation with me knowing just the basics, then I'm happy.
Yeah, that is great advice for sure. All right, so how can someone get started with this process? And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how much does it cost?
Nothing. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. We actually are not allowed to charge per Medicare compliance rules and regulations. Now, there will be people who will try to charge, and just run the other way. Give me a call. Give somebody local a call who is not going to to charge for that information, but you're welcome to give me a call, text me, email me, go to my website. And also, I didn't mention this earlier, but if you go to my website under the resource tab, or if you go to YouTube and type in Premier Medicare Solutions, I have videos that I've done. They break it down into bite-sized, manageable, digestible little segments, 2 to 3 minutes about Part A, Part B, so on and so forth. So if you're not sure about calling me quite yet, watch those videos, and if you have some questions, then please do reach out.
Good to know. Great introductory to your services. Thank you so much, friends out there. It is not too late. So it's getting there, but it is not too late to enlist Mackenzie and her services to help you pick the right plan for you for the year ahead. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Of course, I really appreciate you having me.
Our pleasure.